arrived to life-altering fitness. Yeah. What's up? Training is about to start. Just getting ready. We're gonna start with warm-ups, and then we're gonna go into drilling, and then we're gonna go into actual live training. What's up, Josh? And I'm in my Warrior Rash Guard by Breakpoint, and my spats. Yeah. What's up? Oh, you're fine. Get in here, girl. Say what's up. That's my training partner. See that? I got a good little mat burn. Call those a jiu-jitsu tattoo. So I gotta wrap up my foot. I'm gonna use some Warrior tape here and Band-Aid to wrap around the foot so I can train without it interfering, because burns like that on your feet hurt.
Just how they're doing, following, back straight, butt down.
Alright, our hair has to go up into a bun, but it is time to roll, live roll. Important part of training. Gotta protect those pearly whites.
That'll do, donkey. That's exactly right.
just finished doing 3-minute rounds. I got my competition in about two weeks now. So I'm just trying to get in as much training as possible. Feeling good. And I'm gonna try to train as much gi as I can, so it's not the no gi. This is no gi. Gi is when I'm wearing that full uniform that looks like a bathrobe. For those of you that don't know what a gi is. So basically, 5 days a week I'm training gi, and then 1 day a week I'm training this. So, and I'm switching between gyms. I have Zach is my coach here, and then my other coach is Felipe. And he has his place at about an hour away from us, so I'm going down there 3 days a week and then here 3 days a week. Getting as much variety with different people. I'm training with a lot of higher belts. It helps push me, it helps set my game up, and it helps teach me better technique and all the little details versus just training with someone at my same level. So I'm trying to train as much with the higher, more experienced belts to help me through. I just had a lot of questions that I just wanted to address and be able to kind of explain it to you what I'm personally doing. So some of you that are considering doing wrestling or grappling, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, any of those things, my knowledge, my experience, and what I'm doing might help you too. I've had my boobs done for a little over 2 years now. I just started training jiu-jitsu about 5 months ago. So I wasn't doing Muay Thai, I wasn't doing jiu-jitsu, I wasn't doing direct heavy weighted chest exercises for probably the first year that I had my boobs done. Now when I first got my boobs done, the one thing that I made a promise to myself is that I wasn't gonna let having my boobs done prevent me from doing things that I enjoyed. So obviously I'd have to make some modifications and I have to be just more aware of my boobs when I'm doing things, but I wasn't not going to do something because of that. Now when it comes to jiu-jitsu, I know a lot of you ladies, I'm afraid to put chest pressure on somebody or somebody putting pressure on me. It freaks me out. Like I feel like this, I feel like that. Now when I'm training, I honestly don't even think about my boobs. I mean, if something feels uncomfortable, I make a quick adjustment. Overall, I haven't noticed really any ear interference, any problems. I haven't had any pain. Even after training, I haven't noticed anything at all. I also wear a really good bras. And I don't buy anything special. I just wear 2 bras. So you can see how much this one over top covers my chest. Like it's super thick. But it's just one of those like thin ones, and then I have this underneath, and this is a zippy one. It actually has underwire, but it goes all the way around. It literally covers up the tatas. And then I do that one, and then I do just one over top, and you can see again how thick it is. So I'm always doubling up in this particular manner, this particular layers, for every time I do jiu-jitsu, every time I roll. The bras, where I got those from, the bottom one, there's a bunch. I have like 3 or 4 different colors in that particular bra, and it's just from Victoria's Secret. I don't remember which one it's called. The one over top, that one is actually from Breakpoint. I actually like theirs the best, and they're making more, so they're gonna have more coming out, so that's where I get that bra from. Otherwise I just go to Target and I get the thicker, more coverage sports bra, with no underwire. I found having that particular combination of bras, it's really good support. It covers me up, it keeps boobs from being pushed out this way or all over the place. But it really keeps them secure, and I wear rash guards, so I wear something that covers them up, covers up the chest. So, and plus decency, respect, you know, especially when you're close one-on-one with the opposite sex, you know, just not having your boobs in their face. So if you don't have boobs the size of mine, you don't really have to worry about that. But when it comes to having larger breasts, I like to be respectful and considerate of other people at the same time of my own self and protecting myself. So being covered up and having like the layers like this has really helped a lot. Again, I'm not gonna let having my boobs done prevent me from doing what I want to do. Having more strength in your upper body and in your chest area, I think is gonna help prevent injury or prevent problems to your boobs. There is risk of something happening, but I mean, you have to accept those risks when you do get a breast augmentation, and I accepted those risks, but I didn't want it to limit me. I've told you guys before that I actually haven't done just upper body training since it's September. And one of the reasons was because I had that injury in my neck and I just wanted to avoid training that area overall until I healed. Now when I healed, I just continued not training upper body. I do a lot of plank stuff, body weight stuff, of course, when I'm doing deadlifting and things like that. But when it comes to just training upper body, I'm not doing just upper body exercises like arms, you know, biceps, triceps. Majority of my upper body training comes from jiu-jitsu and comes from Muay Thai. Now that's a completely different way. Your body gets conditioned to that kind of endurance, to that kind of training. So you adapt to that, like you get that strength from that. So when I do go do upper body, I end up really sore from it. So that's kind of where my definition is coming from. So you're still training upper body, it's just a different form. So I have jiu-jitsu 6 days a week, and 2 of those days are strength training. Now I am still keeping my 10-minute sprints in there, and that's 2 days a week just to help keep my endurance and the explosive you know, conditioning. So, you know, the explosive doing 30 on, 30 off. So that helps with my conditioning, my endurance. So when I am in live training and rolling, I'm able to recover a lot quicker when you have explosive movements in your rolls. And then when there's that split second that no one's doing anything, if you're not doing anything, because sometimes you just go, you're able to recover a lot quicker, which is going to be way better for you than if your conditioning was like, and you can't recover. And it's really hard to keep good performance throughout that whole live training. So I'm continuing with my 10-minute sprints just 2 times a week, and that I just mix it in whenever. I do not do it on my double training days because that's just too much. I'll do it on another day. I'll do it like in the morning or after a jiu-jitsu training or something like that. But I'm more focusing on my jiu-jitsu right now more than anything else, because that's where I want to prove in. I want to get as much training time in as I can to work on the techniques, to work on all the little details. Right now, my biggest thing is my takedowns. Me as being a white belt, you know, my guard, being on the ground, I'm more comfortable. I have way more, I mean, that's more on point. My takedowns, I still struggle with that, and executing it properly, or executing something at all. But it's way more difficult when 2 people are really trying to go for something specific and trying to get that person down, you know, because that's going to set you up for where you're going to end up on the ground. And so I've been working on that, and it's just consistency. And I feel, you know, I'm getting better with a lot of things, but it's also like paying attention to when you know, how that other person sets themselves up, how you're going to set them up, and paying attention to those open moments. But you have to be fast. Your reaction time has to be boom. Otherwise you lose it, or you end up in a position you do not want to be in. Most of you know that I still follow intuitive eating. So that means I'm not counting, I'm not measuring things for the most part. I eat what I want when I want. But so when it comes to training, obviously when you're training this intention, this much, you have to make sure you're intaking an adequate amount, like consistently throughout the day. I like to have my carbs and my protein, especially around all my workouts. So before, during, and after. Obviously, your workouts are going to be fueled by your carbs. When I follow intuitive eating, you know, I was talking about not really counting what I'm intaking. So whatever I was intaking before, I kind of just like increase that a little bit. And then if I'm feeling hungry, I intake more. But again, it's usually I go by the size of my fist, or I'm measuring up half a cup, 1 cup. And I'm sticking with complex carbs. I'm still not doing my processed carbs. I'm not, you know, doing breads. I'm not doing rice cakes. I'm not doing like all that stuff. I'm still sticking with potatoes. I'm sticking with rice, quinoa, oatmeal. I'm sticking with more of those complex, nutrient-dense foods, because more than anything, those are gonna help with my energy levels. Those are gonna keep me healthy. It's gonna help me keep my body functioning the way it should, especially with this more intense training. Doing at least an hour before my training, and then I have my carb drink, and I always drink that during my training with my BCAAs. And then I'm also intaking a fast digesting carb with a protein right after my training, and then about an hour later I'm taking in another meal that has a protein and carb. And of course I have a good amount of vegetables and fruits and a variety of those, and fats and stuff throughout the day. With the increase in training, I have noticed that I am hungry more often. So again, I'm just paying attention to those little signals in my body, and when I am hungry, I'm eating, but I'm not overeating. I'm just eating them out until I feel pretty satisfied and pretty full, and then I'm good. So that's basically the intuitive eating with this. 2 days a week I am double training, so I have a strength training and then I'll have jiu-jitsu at night. So those days I even take in double the carbs, so obviously around my first training session in the beginning of the day, and then more at the jiu-jitsu at later in the day. How are you comfortable with being that close with somebody, especially the opposite sex, or you know, everyone's sweating all over you? And it's just one of those things. When it comes to a sport like that, you have to separate that out, and that's what I've done with majority of everything. Is, you know, I'm there for me, and when you're in something like that, that's a part of it, you know. And if you're not comfortable with that, then don't do it. Wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and all the grappling, all of that stuff is you are in close contact in some pretty interesting positions. And you know, I mean, when you watch it, they look very, you know, sexual. They look very perverted in that way. But when you're there, you're training, you're not thinking about that. And at least for me, when I'm in there and people are sweating all over me, guys, and we're in all these positions, I'm more focused on how am I going to get out of this position? How am I going to submit this person? And it gets competitive to me. I don't care if it's a male or female. I do not care. I'm there because, like, I want to be good at this. Especially when you're beginning out, when you don't know that much, it is very uncomfortable and it's intimidating. But it's just one of those things. It's like, if it's something you want to do, you have to go in there. You have to let go of those thoughts, separate that out, and focus on the training. I used to have a really major fear before all of this of being close to people, like close like that. Like, it was weird for me to even like hug people, like, for the longest time, because of how sheltered and homeschooled I was. I had to get over that. I always say this, you know, in order for you to be comfortable with the uncomfortable, you have to put yourself in the uncomfortable until you're comfortable. And that's what I've always done with everything. So I've had a few people, you know, ask me about competing and how you knew when it was time to compete. Well, if I allowed myself, I probably would say, oh, I'll compete someday. And it would probably, like, months, a year, years would probably go by. So it's one of those things that you just have to do it. I don't care if you have been doing it for 5 years or you've only been doing it for like 6 months. It's just one of those things. It's experience, win or lose. You're always learning from something. It's just going to help build confidence. It's going to help you be more comfortable in those kind of situations. If you avoid it, the longer you avoid it, the more you're not going to do it. Our coach Felipe, every time he mentions, oh, there's a competition coming up, and are you going to do it? Are you going to do it? And I'm always like, oh, I'll do the next one. I'll do the next one. So finally, this like a couple weeks ago, they mentioned this competition that's coming up, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. It's one of those things, it's all mental, and you just have to make it up in your mind, I'm gonna do it. And then you crack down. Then you have something, it's just like any other thing you do in your life, that you set a goal. And once you set that goal, it motivates you, it gets you pumped more to get ready for that, or make progress in that time. And so that's kind of what it was. And I'm not nervous at all. I'm really, really excited. I feel really comfortable, but that's because when I train, I'm there to train. I'm very focused. I'm obsessive and tweak over all the little details and all the little techniques. I will go over the same most basic move over and over and over again every single week, even if it's something where it's like, oh, that's something a beginner does. Like, I don't care, beginner or not, even like it's something that could end up being the move that like gets you points, that gets you ends up you winning your competition. Like, I'll literally just tweak and obsess over the same thing over and over again until it's muscle memory. Until it just comes to you. So when I do live rolls, I just notice all of a sudden, I'm like, oh my God, I remember that. Boom, I do it, execute it. And then if that didn't work, you're already like on to the next one. You already knew what you're gonna do next. And that's what consistency and practice does. And especially of the most basic stuff. I don't think you should base off, you should compete or you should do something only because you get promoted by a belt or because you get stripes. You shouldn't gauge what you're going to do off of that. It should be off how you feel with your training, how long you've been training for, you're comfortable, the knowledge, you know, all of those things, because it goes for anything. Like, you know, I always tell you guys, don't like base your weight loss off a number, off the scale, because that doesn't matter at all. Like, you could look a certain way and be a certain weight, and you're like, what? How can you weigh that much, but you look like you're this much, you know? It's like you look like you're less. And it's just, it's the same thing that goes for, you know, when you're in this type of sport. You shouldn't just go by rank, you know. Everybody gets focused on like a title, a rank. That's the last thing I've been worried about with training is I'm here to train. I'm here to grow in jiu-jitsu, in that sport, you know, and I want to learn and I want to progress, and you know, if you know that just comes naturally with it as you do it. And so I think you should be more focused on what you're doing, how often you're training, and how much you're progressing in that time. That's what it should be. You should be always just like excited to be there to learn and keep growing, not when your next stripe is going to be or when your belt's going to be, you know, when your belt promotion is going to be. It's not what this is about. If that's all you're focusing on, I think you're missing the point of why you're doing the sport in the first place. Making sure I stretch every single day. It's, you know, before, after training, no matter what I'm doing. Warming up and stretching, and it's important because it's going to help reduce the risk of injury. The flexibility is huge, especially when it comes to jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai. You've got to be flexible. It's going to help you and help your performance. Whatever it is you're doing, it's gonna help you. And again, I found that being more flexible and stretching more consistently, I haven't had the injuries like I did before when I didn't do it. And getting regular massages too. Now, when I get my massages, aren't the relaxing massages, they are actually therapy. I'm always focusing on areas that are bothering me. For me, it's always my neck and my shoulders, and there's some weeks that I get so extremely sore, so having massages consistently, if I can get them in at least once a week, and I'm doing that, focusing on my neck and focusing on my shoulders. Take care of yourself. Rest is very important too, and drinking a lot of water. I drink everywhere from one and a half gallons of water a day. Stay hydrated. A lot of you know that I get eyelash extensions because I didn't want to be gluing my strip-on lashes all the time. It's been like 6-7 months now that I've been doing eyelash extensions. So when I was just training in general, I was still going pretty intense, but not to the point where I was grinding a lot on my face. It was always the outside of my face that would get a majority of the brunt of training. And so my eyelashes stayed pretty intact, surprisingly. And even my lash girl, she's Joya, she's always like, you are like, she's like, I've been impressed for like the amount of training and sweating and all that stuff you do. Your eyelashes have stayed intact, but I take care of them too. New training I'm doing, I'm actually going intense. Like, I am grinding my face on other people's bodies, and I am putting on that pressure. The last thing I want to worry about is my eyelashes, and especially because the eyelash extensions are glued onto your lashes. You rip those things out, you're ripping out your eyelashes too. I'm gonna actually get them taken out, and I was supposed to a couple days ago, and it didn't work out. I had to cancel an appointment because I had to be here at the gym. And oh, I'll be fine, I'll go in later. Well, I went to a training session that night, and we were going hard. I didn't notice it until the next day. I ripped off half of these lashes in these corners and my lashes. See, that's why. I'm gonna go back to my own natural lashes, probably for the majority of the time, up until competition. Depending on what I might do after this competition, I may put them back on or I may not, because if I'm gonna be training to compete again, I'm just gonna keep them off. And then I'll just stick to my glue-ons again. I'll just glue them on. And then I'll just glue them on as I want lashes. I don't want that distraction. I don't want to worry about that. I'm here to train. I'm serious about it. I'm passionate about it. It's gonna be really weird because I'm so used to them, but you know, some things you gotta do. Hopefully this answered a lot of the questions that you guys were asking. It kind of gives you guys a better understanding of where I'm at with jiu-jitsu. So I was training Muay Thai and jiu-jitsu, but I found that I've become more passionate about jiu-jitsu than I have Muay Thai. I was talking about doing a Muay Thai fight, and I might eventually, but it's shifted over to jiu-jitsu. I'm so obsessed right now. Competition's coming up. I'm really excited. I'm pumped. I'm excited for this challenge. I like what jiu-jitsu brings. It's problem solving under pressure, you know, and being able to stay calm while doing it. Because most of us, when we get in a situation, we're like, oh my god, and we freak out. Our breathing gets out of control, and we just don't know what to do. And I like that kind of like that challenge, that problem solving. So that's what I really like about jiu-jitsu. And when you're training with somebody else, it's not like, oh, it's not the same thing all the time. It's something different. You don't know what your opponent's going to do and what they're going to throw at you, and you got to be ready for that. You got to be on point. So I am going to have somebody filming the whole competition, and I'm going to try, hopefully I can have somebody who can do live on my Instagram so you guys can see it live. But we'll see how everything pans out, because a lot of people from our gym are competing the same weekend. I know Zach's competing, and then a lot of our members are competing too. Unfortunately, Zach is competing at a different competition than me, so we won't be able to be together for my first, but that's okay. There'll be plenty more down the road. But wish me luck, you guys. I'll keep you guys all updated and posted, you know, as I'm getting ready for this. And all right, I'll see you guys in the next video.